The U.S. power grid, once seen as one of the most advanced in the world, is now showing alarming signs of instability. Over the past few years, we've seen an increase in rolling blackouts, transformer failures, cyber attacks, and even energy rationing in some states. What used to be a once-in-a-decade event is now happening every summer, and increasingly in winter too. Massive storms, aging infrastructure, rising demand, and geopolitical threats have all combined to expose just how fragile our electrical lifeline truly is. But here's the deeper issue. America's population has grown more dependent on this unstable grid than ever before. From refrigeration and medical devices to communication, banking, and water supply systems, nearly everything we rely on runs on electricity, and yet very few households have backup power, let alone any plan for what to do if the lights go out for days or weeks. The illusion of stability is so strong that most people still believe a blackout is just a temporary inconvenience. But in reality, we are one major storm, cyber attack, or energy crisis away from cascading failure. When the grid goes down, grocery stores empty, gas stations stop pumping, water stops flowing, cell towers fall silent. And within 72 hours, society begins to unravel. People panic and systems crumble. This isn't a theory. It's a pattern already seen during Hurricane Katrina, the Texas freeze, and California's wildfires. And it's only getting worse. That's why recognizing the grid as a point of failure is no longer optional. It's essential. If you wait until the outage begins to start thinking about solar panels, generators, or even a stockpile of candles and batteries, you're already too late. Preparedness isn't paranoia, it's protection, because when the power goes out, everything changes. The U.S. food system looks strong from the outside. Supermarket shelves full, fast food on every corner, and global imports flowing in daily. But this apparent abundance is a fragile illusion. Behind the scenes, our food supply is stretched thin, heavily dependent on long, complex supply chains, industrial farming, fossil fuels, and a just-in-time delivery model. That means the average grocery store has only about 3 days of food stocked at any given time. If trucks stop rolling, if fuel prices spike, or if extreme weather disrupts farming regions, the shelves go empty fast. Recent years have already given us glimpses of this. From pandemic-era shortages to inflation, driven price spikes and weather-related crop failures, we've seen how quickly the system can falter. Add to that ongoing issues like fertilizer shortages, droughts in key agricultural regions, and global conflicts that choke supply lines, and it becomes clear we are walking a razor's edge. Most Americans don't grow any of their own food. Many don't know how. Backyard gardens, home canning, and local food networks used to be normal. Today, they're rare, and that lack of self-reliance makes people incredibly vulnerable. When the next disruption comes, whether it's a natural disaster, cyber attack, or economic crash, millions will be left without access to affordable, available food. Preparedness means understanding where your food comes from, building local and home-based systems, and storing supplies ahead of time. It means shifting from blind trust in a broken system to quiet, intentional self-reliance. Even something as simple as a 30-day food stockpile or learning to cook with shelf-stable ingredients can mean the difference between chaos and calm. The food crisis isn't coming. It's unfolding in slow motion, and the ones who will thrive are those who stop waiting for someone else to feed them and start learning how to feed themselves. Water is the most essential resource for survival, yet it's the one we take for granted the most. In America, we turn on the tap and expect clean, endless water to flow, but that illusion is crumbling. Across the country, aquifers are drying up, lakes are shrinking, and aging infrastructure is leaking billions of gallons a day. Meanwhile, chemical spills, agricultural runoff, and industrial waste are contaminating water supplies at an alarming rate. Towns in Ohio, Michigan, and the Southwest have already issued boil notices or run completely dry. This isn't just a third world issue anymore, it's an American crisis. What most people don't realize is how dependent their water access is on electricity. No power means no water treatment, no pumps, no filtration. In a grid-down situation, municipal water stops working in hours. Toilets won't flush, faucets go dry, and bottled water will disappear off shelves almost instantly. Within days, dehydration, disease, and desperation set in. And yet, most households don't have even one day's worth of clean water stored. They have no rain collection system, no filters, no purification tablets. The idea of going even 24 hours without water seems unimaginable until it happens. Preparedness starts with acknowledging that water isn't a guaranteed service. It's a resource you must secure for yourself. That means storing at least 1 gallon per person per day for emergencies. It means learning to collect and purify rainwater. It means having filters that don't rely on electricity, like gravity-fed systems or ceramic filters. Without water, nothing else matters. You can survive weeks without food, but only days without clean water. If you're preparing for anything, a blackout, a disaster, a societal breakdown, start with water, because when the tap stops running, the panic begins, and those who planned ahead will not only survive, they'll lead. Most Americans today are not mentally or emotionally prepared for real crisis. We live in a culture of convenience, comfort, and constant distraction. When something breaks, we call someone. When we're hungry, we order food. When we're anxious, we scroll or medicate. But comfort has a cost, and the cost is resilience. For decades, we've been conditioned to believe that hardship is unnatural, that pain is a problem to be avoided, and that someone else will always fix things. That mindset is deadly in a real emergency. When disaster strikes, your greatest tool isn't your gear, it's your mind, and sadly, that's the tool most people have neglected. Crisis brings chaos, fear, confusion, and pressure. Without emotional discipline, even a small emergency becomes overwhelming. People freeze, they panic, they make bad decisions, and in a survival situation, one wrong choice can cost everything. Mental preparedness isn't about being fearless, it's about training your mind before the storm. It's about building tolerance for discomfort, learning how to stay calm under pressure, and developing the ability to adapt when everything goes sideways. It's about choosing discipline over panic and leadership over blame. This means putting yourself in controlled discomfort now, cold showers, fasting, limited power, unplugged weekends. It means reading real stories of survival, not just watching Hollywood fiction. It means preparing your family to act, not just react. The truth is, many people will survive the first day of a disaster, but lose themselves in the days that follow, because the hardest part isn't always physical, it's psychological. If you want to endure what's coming, you have to strengthen your mindset now. Because in the end, survival isn't just about supplies, it's about the soul, and those who are mentally ready will not only endure, they'll rise. Cities are built for convenience, not resilience. In good times, urban life feels efficient, everything is close, services are fast, and people live packed tightly together in vertical towers. But that very design becomes a trap when systems fail. One grid outage, one food supply disruption, or one civil unrest event, and the cracks start to show. Cities rely on everything functioning perfectly all the time. There's no room for error, and when the system breaks, it breaks hard. Look at recent history. New York during Hurricane Sandy, Los Angeles during blackouts, Chicago during polar vortexes. It only takes a few hours without power or food for panic to take hold. Elevators stop, ATMs shut down, public transit halts, grocery stores are looted, Police are overwhelmed. The truth is, cities are pressure cookers, and when they boil over, there's no easy way out. Most urban dwellers don't know their neighbors. They don't have backyards for growing food. They don't store supplies because space is tight. And worst of all, they believe that help will always arrive. But what happens when it doesn't? In a city, you can go from safe to stranded in a matter of hours. Preparedness in a city isn't just about storing water and food. It's about having an exit plan. It's about knowing alternate routes, having a bug-out bag, and being mentally ready to leave comfort behind if needed. It's about community, building trust with neighbors and creating mutual aid networks before crisis hits. Urban collapse doesn't come with a warning. It comes fast, often disguised as a temporary disruption. But if you're paying attention, you know the signs are already here. Cities are not where you want to be when things unravel. And those who prepare now will have a chance to move, to act, and to survive. Panic is what happens when people wait too long to act. It's what fills store aisles with desperate crowds, clogs highways with traffic jams, and leads to chaos instead of calm. But you don't have to panic if you prepare. That's the truth most people don't want to hear. They think being ready means you're afraid, paranoid, or overreacting. But in reality, preparation is confidence. It's wisdom, it's leadership, and in the face of growing threats, it's the only responsible path forward. We live in a world that changes overnight. One day, everything seems normal. The next, a cyber attack shuts down banking systems. A hurricane knocks out power. A supply chain collapse leaves shelves empty. Most people will freeze, unsure of what to do, because they've never thought about it before. But you can be different. You can be ready. Preparedness doesn't mean going off grid tomorrow. It means taking steady, smart steps, building a 30-day food and water supply, learning basic survival skills, securing backup power and communication tools, getting to know your neighbors, creating a plan for your family. Most of all, it means adopting a mindset of responsibility, not just for yourself, but for others, because when things go wrong, leaders rise. And in a community of panic, one prepared person can change everything. You can calm fears, share knowledge, provide stability, but only if you've done the work before the storm hits. This is the moment to act. Not later, not someday. The warnings are all around us, and while America may not be ready, you still have time to be. Preparation is no longer optional. It's the new form of strength. Be the one who stays calm. Be the one who's ready. Because when the world shakes, people don't follow the loudest voice. They follow the strongest mind.